Ooh, this one is a fun one, and this one's going to be hard to pick. And this one's interesting. This one's got a lot to it this week. This is number 9 Oregon at Oregon State at 3:30 p.m. This game obviously being played in Corvallis. It is obviously another super early rivalry matchup in week 3. This game is not even usually played until week 13 during rivalry week. So this might be the earliest this game has been played, with these two teams not being in the same conference anymore. I think that probably has something to do with it. But this is a really early matchup. Obviously, Oregon not looking great, barely got the win over Idaho 2 weeks ago, and barely got the win over Boise State last week. So the hype, I think they were definitely overhyped, definitely overrated. So I think this one is going to be definitely interesting. To say the least. The ESPN FPI, Oregon at 69%. The TBD model has Oregon by 30, and the spread is Oregon by 16.5. Let's not forget that just 2 years ago, we saw Oregon State win this game and actually knock Oregon out of playoff contention in Bo Nix's first year there, Dan Lanning's first year there. So will that happen again? Joey, what do you think?
I don't think it's going to happen again. I mean, Boise State had a good game against Oregon. Let's not kid ourselves. Boise State is a really good football team. I definitely think that going into the season, they were favorites to clinch the Group of 5 spot in the playoffs, and I still think they're my favorite to get that Group of 5 spot. So the close game there didn't shock me. The issue is Boise State relies heavily on the run. Guess who also relies heavily on the run? Oregon State. But they also don't have a defense. You know what's crazy? Pac-2 and Mountain West, no defense still. I still am going to have to pick Oregon here. Their offense, eventually it's got to click. Their offense somewhat clicked last game, but and luckily it did, or else they would have lost that game. Now they just need their defense to step up. It's either one or the other. They need both to click at the same time. But I don't see Oregon State winning this. You can only do so much. They didn't even get 150 yards passing last game. So yeah, Oregon.
So you just mentioned something really important, and that's that Oregon's defense has been extremely lackluster. And for such a hype around, the quarterback transfer, Dillon Gabriel, they really haven't done, and he hasn't really done that much. Barely winning against Boise State at home, barely winning against freaking Idaho at home. And then you have a team who played San Diego State last week, won by 21, and didn't get up a single point, which again means they probably did not allow that team into field goal range, or if they did, then San Diego missed a field goal. So I think that something that Oregon State actually has over Oregon right now is their defense, which is actually really surprising because Dan Lanning was the defensive coordinator before at Georgia, before he was at Oregon. So this is really confusing on that. I think that Oregon State actually has a really good chance in this game. You have Giovanni McCoy, who's a junior at quarterback this year, who's been playing really well. I'm still waiting to see something from Dillon Gabriel and the Oregon Ducks. It's in Corvallis, man. I got to go Oregon State, bro. I know that's so scary, and I'm probably going to be pulling for that. And I don't really want to be, because I really want Oregon to beat Ohio State later this year. But I think if those two teams were to play right now, that would be a dangerous game for Oregon, because I don't think they would be able to guard Keenshawn Judkins at all. So I think that Oregon State, probably they'll put something together, and I think they might catch Oregon off guard, which is why I'm going to have to go with Oregon State in this game.